I mean, everyone's got to eat, and I do feel whether you cook, you're into food, everyone's got an opinion on it. Yeah. It's such a topical thing. And nowadays, food is entertainment value. Yeah. Like I guess a lot of the really viral food videos that we see in social media now are things you would never make. It'll be a 10-inch high cheese toasty that's the most indulgent thing that would give you a heart attack.
It's like a world record.
But it's pure food porn, and people are watching it with no intention of even making it.
Have you ever felt that it's actually almost killed your love for food?
Oh, I'll always love food, and I love my journey, what I'm trying to achieve and what I'm achieving. But that side of it, I don't love. But when I'm in an environment where I don't need to think about that, I would, like for instance in the south of France, I was literally in the moment, not thinking about anything else. I put so much pressure on myself, and just being away in that environment, I felt like I was thriving and enjoying it. And looking back at everything I've done, you think probably the same. I wish I just enjoyed the moments a little bit more, and I'm starting to really get better at that, and just being right, I'm present, I'm here now, this is what's going on. Take it for what it is right then.
Every time. So it gets louder and louder.
What, AJ? Just joking. Welcome back to Freedom Impact Trust. We are here with... Now, I'm a foodie, so I'm loving this podcast already. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to get a lot of tips from this guy. We are here with Chris. Now, I had to pronounce his name correctly here. Chris Baber.
That's the one.
Yes, I got it correct there. How you doing, Chris? You good?
Really good, really good. Thanks for having me on, first of all.
No, it's good, it's good. Tell us about yourself, Chris. Like, what are you? What do you do? We know you're a chef, but what's your favourite dish, first of all? Let's go straight into it.
What's my favourite dish? Christmas dinner.
There you go. Not a Sunday roast.
I think Christmas dinner, because there's like, I don't know, for me, if I can have a Sunday roast down south, but for Christmas dinner, it's getting back up north with the family. Yeah. For me, like food, it's everything that goes with it. It's not just the food, it's who you're with, what you're doing. And I'll always go home and cook a Christmas dinner for the family. That's. And
you started that at a young age. I think doing a bit of research last night, read that. Were you cooking for the family from about 8 years old?
Yeah, something like that. So I grew up in the middle of nowhere, lovely little market town in Northumberland, and I don't know, I just had this obsession with food. I think it grew from my granddad. I'd be in the kitchen with him. He'd always have music on, and I think one thing he made me realize is you can enjoy the process of cooking as much as the eating. And I would see the enjoyment he got from feeding my family and myself.
Yeah.
And then I'd be at home. My parents, like my mum, NHS 40 years. My dad worked his arse off, like both really hardworking people. And I just started to make dinner, and I guess I'd put it on the table, and this kind of makes him happy. It's a bit selfish, really, but I got a kick from it. And I just loved, getting in from school, chuck a bit ready so he couldn't get in the kitchen and start cooking, and that is really how it started.
I mean, your parents are thinking it's a win-win situation. Yeah. One, you're happy, and two, they're not having to cook.
Well, I tell this story, it's like, I was cooking for the family. My mum's like, will you pipe down? People will call social services. We had our lad cooking at 8. It's like, I wasn't forced to do it.
I was going to say, did she have the whip out in the corner?
It was by choice. So, I've got to get the story right for that one.
But the cooking side, so it's always been a passion to start off with quite clearly. That's one thing. But how did you learn? Like, what was it? Did you go to the internet to be like, or were you cookbooks, or what was your kind of information source?
So was there a lot of burnt dishes?
We'll not get into that. No, my inspiration really was, there was no social media then. I think we're all a similar age. It was TV chefs. So it was Ainsley Harriott, James Martin, Rick Stein, Delia Smith, everyone that was on the TV. And I just remember being captivated watching chefs and cooks on TV. I mean, like the Two Fat Ladies and the Hairy Bikers. Just anyone, meeting people talking about food, the produce, and then seeing them cook it. And I think some of Rick Stein's shows really inspired me to see what he'd done with all the travel. But it was generally TV. And then I started to buy cookbooks and just sit and read them like a normal book.
So did you have in your mind, actually, from seeing all these guys on TV and seeing them creating their lives and careers through being a chef and on TV, did you have an end goal of wanting to be on TV?
Yeah, but even more so now, Kurt. I feel like people kind of think TV is one era and social media is now another era, and it's kind of quite hard to cross-pollinate that. But more than ever, cooking on TV, every daytime show, every show, it has cooking. Even if it doesn't have cooking, it'll still have like, we've prepared this earlier, and we'll have something to eat and drink at the same time as talking. Yeah. It's such more than like your first thing. It wasn't about, I cook dinner or I like Christmas dinner because that's when the food is. It's the occasion, and I think it's quite crazy these days to think like if you have to socialize, it's kind of like you have to eat or you have to drink. Like for you as a chef, it must be thinking, oh, this is a win-win.
I mean, everyone's got to eat, and I do feel whether you cook, you're into food, everyone's got an opinion on it.
Yeah,
it's such a topical thing. And nowadays, I'll get back to the original bit of did I realize we're going to be on TV? Food is entertainment value.
Yeah.
Like I guess a lot of the really viral food videos that we see in social media now are things you would never make. It'll be a 10-inch high cheese toasty that's the most indulgent thing that would give you a heart
attack. It's like
attack.
a world record.
But it's pure food porn, and people are watching it with no intention of even making it.
Yeah.
And I think going back to the original question of did I always know I wanted to be in food, I'd watch these people on TV. I didn't grow up around restaurants. We had Indian, Chinese takeaway, and a pizza. That was it. So it wasn't like fine dining was something that I was out with my parents and we'd go on holiday, but we weren't like a foodie family traveling the world, eating in amazing restaurants. Same sort of background as you, lads.
Yeah.
And it was always like, if I work in food, it would be, I really want to show people how to cook. I guess looking at the people I was watching and learning from, they were teaching me. And it was like, if I do this one day, I'd love to be on TV. I'd love to have a book, not for the fame, but to actually just show people. I get a real kick from teaching. And I guess that is why I end up starting social media, because I was bugging my friends with pictures all the time. Made this, made that. They're like, will you just get on Instagram and just start telling me, because I'm sick of the texts. And that's kind of how that bit started.
Yeah, no, it's so awesome. I love how you talk about food. Like it's art, it's a story, it's bringing the family together. It's something you enjoy doing. I love the way you actually.
I don't know if this is the right question to ask.
Yeah, throw it. Go on.
You come into what you said, art. Like in art form, there's nothing that's ever wrong. Within cooking and recipes, like everybody has their recipes that they stick to.
Yeah.
But how wrong can you go with a recipe? Or how right can you go?
That's such a good question.
How do you make a new recipe?
How do you know what to mix with what?
How do I know what to mix with what?
If you're experimenting, if you're trying something.
Trial and error. But then the more you do it, the better you get. Yeah. And then it's like learning what goes with what. And there's a chef I worked with called Atul Kutcher, first Indian chef in the UK to get a Michelin star. He gave me my first big opportunity in London. And he'd be like, even in the restaurant, we're just making people's dinner. We're not on the front line. We're not saving lives. It's only food. Experiment with it. Yeah. So I think that's the key thing, especially at home. You can really get away with it. But a big thing as well, I think there's so much snobbery around food and wine. Yeah. I had a conversation with someone the other day, and he's going, oh, my girlfriend puts sriracha mayo on a bolognese and all that. I'm like, if she likes that, go for it.
Yeah,
I like that
Eat
approach.
what you enjoy.
Yeah.
I'll write a recipe, but if you don't like coriander, don't mean you have to put it in.
Yeah, because I do not like coriander.
So don't put it in.
That's one of them tastes which is very
doesn't work for you.
Not at all. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
But there's
it's like poison almost.
Yeah. There's one thing I really hate, and that's tempeh. Vegans use it as a bacon in like a vegan carbonara.
Maybe I have tried it. I don't know.
I wouldn't.
No,
You did vegan for a little bit. AJ was vegan, so
I wouldn't do vegan cheese. Was like that's not even a
cheese.
You can't even say it's cheese. I don't even know who thought of that. Was just
so is it a paste?
No, it's like I believe a fermented soya bean.
Oh, so just the word fermented. Just
I'm
done. Thank you. Yeah, moving swiftly on.
But if you like it, eat it. If you don't. So I think, is there anything that shouldn't go? If you like the taste of it, then by all means go for it.
So let's say you're thinking of making, I don't know, let's say a starter or something, and you know you're going to want something fruity, something nice towards it. So would you just start with, and you want to create something completely new, would you just start with like one bit of food and then you'll be like, okay, these foods tend to go nice with this, so let's try this. Let's maybe add a little bit of that. Oh, no, that doesn't work. We'll take it out now. We'll try that.
Yeah, I think a general rule is what grows together goes together. So that's a nice way to look at it. And for me, I spent a few years traveling around the UK looking at seasonal British produce. So the starting block for me really is what's in season right now. Let's do something with that. So if you wanted to start, I might go, there's an abundance of courgettes. If I was at my mum and dad's house, I have them grown in the garden, I might just get the courgette flowers, stuff them with ricotta, some lemon zest, season it.
Sounds so good. I'm just staring at you, but it's quite mesmerising.
But you get so much inspiration now. It's everywhere. Like you say, you can't not get inspiration with food. Whether you put your phone on, there'll be an ad, or there'll be a social media. You put the TV on, someone's cooking on whatever show, and it's everywhere. But for me, it's like, let's start with what's in season and let's go from there.
I was about to ask, like, obviously there's so many different kind of like a bit like conversation you went to at the beginning. Like, there's so many very expensive, very well-traveled culinary schools that you would go to. Is that something you've gone down that rabbit hole or stayed away from that?
No, it's not that I have gone down the rabbit hole. I haven't chosen to. I really fell into this by a love of food for one. And then I think it was 2016. I had like literally a couple of thousand followers on social media. Someone reached out to me and said, I'm researching for a daytime cooking show on BBC Two. It's going to be called Yes Chefs. It's a competition for home cooks. We think you'd be a great contestant.
And you were a great contestant.
I wasn't bad. So it wasn't like, food for me was always just this real passion. But I never thought I'd work in it. And then when that came up, and I've written on the application form, who's your favourite chef? I had this love of Indian food. I'd written Atul Kochhar. He turns out to be the judge on the day. We win the show.
You're like, yes, this is good. This
is
good.
It was good karma. But the one bit was...
What year did you win that, sorry?
2016.
2016, yeah.
You had to cook a signature dish. And I remember buying his first book, and there was this sea bass curry he'd done, and it was like always my interpretation of it at home when I was growing up. You adapt it. I remember I have the ingredients in front of me. He walks out, like my hero, and he looks at me and he's like, I think I know what you're going to cook. It's pretty much your recipe. So I've made it, took it through. And this was the moment that made me think I should be working in food. He took a bite and he said nothing. And about 10 seconds later, it's like, you've absolutely nailed it.
Yeah.
And it was one thing my friends and family saying I can cook, but a Michelin star chef that
awesome.
I'd looked up to, seen on TV, said it. And after the show, he went, Chris, you want a real job? Come work with me in Mayfair. So I moved straight to London from living at home, having never really worked in a restaurant, to working for him. And I just fell into that. So I didn't go down the route of like, I'm going to go and train at culinary school.
What did that work look like? What did you actually do? I don't, because I think of
I've
a chef and I always think like, what
I've worked
do you
in
do?
the kitchens, to be fair. I started off as a pot washer and went on to be a sous chef and did a bit of starters and stuff and the odd couple of mains. I didn't train up or anything. I was just fast in the kitchen on pot wash, so they moved me up. So I know what it's sort of like now, but I'll let you explain it all properly,
Yeah, not that I've got 10 years experience in the kitchens, but from the experience I had with
It's
Atul.
fast-paced, sweaty, hard work.
Yeah,
That's
there
what
you
it
go.
is.
And it's like, you've got to have a love for it because you're in there a long time. And it's like a real buzz. I can almost look at it like sport. There's a build-up, you're doing all the prep. The service comes in and you're on this high and everyone's working together. And when things are going well, it's like harmony. But it really is teamwork. And it started with me working around all the different sections, spending time with all the different chefs. And it was fascinating. It was a predominantly Indian kitchen. Yeah. And I'm cooking with a lot of spices. And I was just like a sponge in there. I'm like, I'll do whatever gets thrown at me. And I learned so much.
Yeah. Did you start at a certain, like a sous chef and then, or did you just sort of get thrown into a bit of everything?
Just got thrown in. Atul was amazing with me and just literally had me work around the kitchen. And I was there sort of 6 months.
So he just says, cook the fish dish and you start cooking the dish.
Well, it got to that point from shadowing and learning and then obviously doing all the prep, doing the garnish, chopping onions for 10 hours at the start. And then I literally got to a point where it's like, it almost reaffirmed my passion wasn't cooking Michelin star food, which I love, by the way, but it was, what I miss is showing people how to cook at home.
So you love the teaching side as well.
Yeah, and that's when I left and I started in London, didn't know anyone, and I'm like, right, I need to start getting out there. Who can I meet? What can I do? This is 7 years ago, before TikTok. You couldn't post videos on social media. So the goal back then was massively television, books, traditional media, with a bit of social media, but it's amazing how fast the landscape's changed.
Did you feel, actually, just quickly going back to in the kitchens, cooking for the guy, which is one of your almost heroes in the whole cooking industry, was it nerve-wracking? Was it hard work? Did you feel like you were putting extra pressure on yourself? Or did you just really absorb it all up and think, this is like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity? I'm here.
That's kind of what I thought. It was like being in a film or something. It was like, but, if I knew what I knew now, maybe my decisions and thoughts might have been different. But I went in with a totally open mind from the countryside to Berkeley Square in Mayfair. If anyone's ever walked through there at midnight, it's absolute scenes. And I'd come out and my eyes were open to this city of London and the people that you see around there when I'd leave work. So I just went in with an open mind and just worked as hard as I could. And
were you, when you were going to bed at night, were you dreaming about, because I remember when I first started in the kitchen, I wasn't cooking for mates, so I really had hardly any experience. I was dreaming about the recipes in my head, like how they were being made, just because we were doing it so much, so many times.
The one thing that, because I did Celebrity MasterChef, Kurt.
Yes, you did. I forget actually. Yeah.
What was your signature dish?
My signature dish, I did this raka lamb with this red wine reduction sauce and these honey glazed carrots. And it was pretty sick, I'm not going to lie.
But what happened on one of the episodes? Did you forget to take a pip out of something?
Oh my God, pears. I didn't...
Just a pip.
Only like 100 or 200 of them that I did. And it tasted great, just don't bite through them.
Was this the one where you have to cook for like it'd be the NHS?
Yeah. It was like
the Royal Lifeboats or something like that.
We were cooking for like the Horse Society of Jumpers, or I don't know, something. There was a lot of cooking. But the one thing that I was going to get to is that I feel like when you repeat your meals so many times, I ended up like eating so much food. Like within a kitchen, it pained me to bin stuff. So I just like, I've got to eat it. Like you're pretty fit. You stay in shape. Like how do you deal with that side of the kind of cooking?
Did you love something and now you hate it because you've eaten it that many times?
The first week there, when you don't realise what goes into fine dining food, the richness, the salt, the butter, the cream, tastes amazing.
I've never seen butter goes like water.
Yeah, well, like the macaroni sauce, which is like what you think of like chicken tikka masala. Like, I'll get me the butter. I'll bring a block. No, not the case, and you like put it in. But it's delicious. But then the first week, I'm in my element. I'm like eating it. I felt so rough a week, and all this people are watching me going, "He ain't gonna last eating this." But then I was just eating. I'm very mindful about what I eat. I used to run competitively, 800 meters. That was like my life growing up. And if I could have done anything else, it probably would have. Wish I'd put more into that maybe, and would have give that a go. But
hey, you're doing pretty good, man.
You're doing all right.
Teaching a lot of people. You got a book out. Things are going great. Yeah. So you chose a good path.
But I'm so glad it worked out this way, and I love it. But that was my other passion. So food and exercise that go hand in hand. I've always been mindful about it. And if I'm at home, I'll eat, fairly healthy or whatever I'm filming. I wouldn't deem it as healthy, quote unquote, but it's just fresh. And then if I'm out, I'll eat whatever, because that's the joy of eating out. I'm there for the experience,
You just said something interesting that I saw on social media, but like it was this kind of like weird mentality that people have kind of thought that to go on a diet, you have to eat healthy. Like it's this weird reverse psychology where it's actually eating healthy doesn't mean you're on a diet. It just means you maybe eating clean or less sauce and all that. Like how do you deal with it when people are like, okay, what should I eat if I want to go on a diet, or what should I like? Whereas, if anything, my personal opinion is like work out more, eat less. Well, it's going to add up the right way.
I'm pretty old school. I eat less and move more is my big thing. Not that I'm giving anyone advice. I have to say, in my opinion, just stop eating as much rubbish and do a bit more exercise. It's probably very basic, and it's not necessarily about how far do you want to go with it, but how much you eat. It's the quality of what you are eating. But then I think food's one of the greatest joys in life, and it's there to be enjoyed. And I think, in my opinion, it's a shame that people will go, "Oh, I'm not eating gluten. Are you celiac?" No, but it's trendy. There's people out there that would do anything for that. And there's other people, the other side of the world, that have access to no food. And you're telling me you're vegan because you've seen it on TikTok. Do you know all about the implications of the avocados that you're eating on your toast? I just think, just eat proper food. Just be educate
and
yourself.
do it all for the right reasons.
Yeah, for sure.
I definitely agree with that. Don't just jump on a bandwagon for this and that. If you want to try it,
food is medicine, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You see people take all these vitamins, all these supplements all day, and they're like, bloody hell, that's a lot. Like if you just ate this amount of variety of foods, you're gonna get that in so much,
for sure,
in abundance, literally.
How's Instagram and everything with food now? Because this is a step forward for you, isn't it? This is, like you said, when you first started, it wasn't there. It wasn't a thing. How is it? How's filming it? How's creating this? Because you are a business now. You are everything.
Yeah. You're a brand. You're yourself. You, what you do, what you represent, what you say.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. That's why I have to be careful.
In my opinion.
It is. And Instagram's changed rapidly. And I think it was probably the pandemic where it really upped its game, and everyone was on there. And
because through the pandemic you were actually teaching kids how to cook.
I had a cookery school 3 days a week, and that kind of kept me sane, you know, in the flat on my own doing these things. And I still get messages from people from then going, Chris, my son and the dad are cooking that chicken curry every Friday. It's their little thing, and you've inspired them to cook. And that for me is like,
that's awesome.
That's
cool.
what it's all about.
I think that is amazing because it's the fact that we see all the kids these days, they're on phones.
Yeah.
They'll be tucked away on their iPad, on this and that, on the PlayStation, or doing things like this.
Yeah.
So to actually reunite a family together through cooking is something so special. And the memories that kid will actually have with his family it'll be like you cooking for your family.
Yeah.
It'll be something you end up loving to do and perhaps going into that industry.
And to think one of my recipes has created a memory in someone else's house. I love that. But how's it's changed in that it was literally a picture of me dinner when I started. No lighting, photography. And I'm at a point where I need to and want to invest in getting a team to come and help me film because I love to cook and I love to chat, as you're probably gathering, at the same time, preferably, with a pan in front of me. But I'm not a videographer. I'm not a lighting engineer or sound or a techie. And I really don't enjoy... I've never been into like technology in that way. And I love Instagram and what it does. But the quality of what I see, a lot of younger, I guess you call them content creators now. That wasn't a word when I started, not that I'm old, but that's how quickly technology's changing, right?
Makes you feel old though, doesn't it now? Yeah.
And I don't enjoy that bit. So it's like I need to go into there. But what I do think it's nice for is I can use it as a platform to showcase what I've been up to. I've been away cooking for Aston Martin. I can get that on Instagram and share the experience with others. And then other brands that I work with as well. So it's a great.
Is it nice like them opportunities when it's like, okay, I know you like your cars and Aston Martin, and they say, do you want to come to where were you outside of Monaco and south of France and French Riviera, and you're like,
as well.
I just want go do a little bit of cooking and drive some nice cars and get paid at the same time.
It was one of the best experiences I've ever had. I'm a young lad, grew up in England, Aston Martin, James Bond, dream brand. I want that car one day, I always have done. I want an Aston. And the team there.
I see you driving an Aston.
Really good. I've had a taste of it, and I want more. Maybe they lured me in to become a customer.
That's what they do. They get you. Like early on in your career, when you're like, okay, that's the first brand that's allowed me the opportunity. They write your name in a little black book, being like, you better buy one in 20 years.
You feel obliged to as well.
No, none of that. It was like such a passion, and I built a relationship with the team there. The most amazing bunch of people. Unbelievable group, and it was like this opportunity came up to go and cook for the global media launch of the Aston Martin DB12. Went to the south of France, almost 3 weeks in total, and just cooking with the produce down there, meeting amazing people from around the world, talking about cars. It was like, wow, this is like a real pinch me moment, and it was nice actually to do something. I talk about sharing it on social. It was actually offline. I was cooking for real people, real guests,
face to face,
fresh produce, and getting that interaction with, I would call it a customer. They weren't paying for my food, but the guests coming up.
They're still sitting down. They're excited to see what's going to be put on their plate.
Totally. And then coming out to talk about the ingredients and ask how their day's been, how's the drive, and getting that immediate feedback, going back to cooking at home from the guests, telling the stories about the produce and all of the rest of it. And that was like a big moment of like, wow, I need to be doing more of that as well, like actually feeding real people.
A re-information of your love for the cooking itself.
I was actually just thinking, because you say obviously you love cooking, you love teaching people to cook, and you love running like you did in your younger days. You ever thought about doing something like, just throwing an idea out there, like it's sort of a travel program, except for you're running from destination to destination. You're doing it for charity.
Well, it's more than 800 meters.
Yeah, no, it will be. It'll be
amazing.
more of a long distance one where you run. I don't know. You run into different towns around. Could be around London, for example. Yeah. And you go and cook. You do a masterclass. You run to the next one. You cook. You do a masterclass. You've got to do a certain amount in a set amount of hours.
This is really good, actually.
We should write this down, and we sell the meals at a pop-up to raise money for the charity.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it'll pay for, or it will fund the next step.
New pair of trainers.
Yeah. A new pair of trainers. This is great.
Just thought about it then.
Love this. We should do that.
Yeah.
But I think
whether it's around London, whether it's in the countryside or
do
wherever.
Do a British one and then expand into Europe and then go worldwide.
Yeah.
And you can be in the follow-up car in an Aston Martin.
DBX 707.
Exactly.
We all love Astons. Yeah.
But in terms of cars, you boys love them. But that DB12 was unbelievable, and the experience I had.
That's crazy.
I don't take any of that for granted. One of the greatest things I've done professionally and personally, and to be around the most amazing people. We had Ollie Smith out there talking about wine on a night time, and for me, just to get my hands on the fresh produce there and not have to try and film it and edit it, it was like that's getting done by someone else. That's my dream.
It's nice being in the moment.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that within our industry that sometimes all of us get a bit caught up on.
Yeah.
Like, I think Kurt more so, he chills out. Like, he's like, things get done for me around him. But like, actually being able to relax and enjoy the moment is
I think
it's one in a million these days.
Because I don't love the editing and stuff like what you were saying. Have you ever felt that it's actually almost killed your love for food because you have to be your everything? Now, like you said, you have to be your editor, you have to be your filmer, you have to be your light man, and you're the cook as well. Has it nearly taken it away from like, oh, I don't love this anymore because I'm having to do this?
Oh, I'll always love food, and I love my journey, what I'm trying to achieve and what I'm achieving. But that side of it, I don't love. But when I'm in an environment where I don't need to think about that, I would, like, for instance, in the south of France, I was literally in the moment.
You thrive.
Not thinking about anything else. I put so much pressure on myself, and just being away in that environment, I felt like I was thriving and enjoying it. And looking back at everything I've done, you think, and you're probably the same, I wish I just enjoyed the moments a little bit more, and I'm starting to really get better at that and just being, right, I'm present, I'm here now, this is what's going on. Take it for what it is right then.
Let's take a moment to thank our sponsor, FINT, the financial investment app that makes investing so easy, Curtis.
Yes, it does, AJ. It makes it that easy, actually, that I forgot what I was going to say.
All you have to do is choose one of the 3 portfolios, and you can invest from as little as £50 a month, Curtis.
Wait, say that again. All from as little as £50 a month?
£50 a month.
Wow.
Accessible to everybody.
Everybody.
Back to the pod.
Take an actual breath and realise.
This question may be a bit counterintuitive to what you just said.
Yeah.
Enjoying the moment where you are now. Like, we're here in your kitchen, your media station, we'll say. You've had that moment, south of France.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome. What's the actual next goal? Are you somebody who wants to work in a restaurant, or are you somebody who wants to have your own restaurant, or do you want to travel more? Like, where do you think? So as a chef, sometimes I feel like people can get quite pigeonholed as, you're a chef here, or this is your restaurant, and you've, like, the hours to be a chef must be insane.
Yeah, I mean, let's get one thing straight. I don't have a restaurant. I haven't worked in one, and I'm not pretending to anyone I ever have done 15 years training in France. So would I ever have a restaurant? I think potentially I'd want something that was more of a real passion project in maybe 10 years' time. Right now, I love the freedom and ability to go and work with amazing companies like Aston, like Hexclad, help share their message and be available to go and do different things. I didn't travel at all growing up, really. I was much more of a homebod, and now I'm getting the chance to do it with work. So to be free to be able to go and do it. Yeah. But in terms of what's next, more cooking for events like that, working with some cool brands. I'm an ambassador for a brand called Hexclad, the most amazing cookware brand in the world.
When you were cooking that steak the other day, actually, I did that food point. I rewound this video like 3 times as you were cooking the steak in that pan. I was like, oh, this is really good.
I mean,
and then I cooked the steak last night, and I was like, it didn't look the same.
What you need is a Hexclad pan. You will get the sear of stainless steel with the easy cleanup and convenience of non-stick. Amazing company. Great team, and they really take me under their wing. They're based in LA. I'm in the UK. I'm really enjoying working with them, talking about the business, sharing it, doing events. That's a big project for me. There's definitely another book in the making, and I think a big step for me next is probably going to be looking at setting up my own team, video editing. So I'm not having to think
investing
about
in you as your brand and what you're doing and what you put out there perceived as, this is me, Chris. Like, this is what I do.
Exactly. Like, social media is something I think I've got to invest into now. Yeah. Like you boys, you know. Yeah. So
I struggle with the social media though. It is a hard thing. It really, really is. I don't know why. Maybe it's just not my cup of tea, but it is a business card. It's everything now. It really can promote you and the things you do, and it can reach out to so many different people. And like you said, you could almost create like Joe Wicks's body workout. You could do it for the cooking type thing. Yeah, literally. You're there, masterclass, cooking on there with everybody, and it works perfect.
Yeah, there's just thinking about, well, you have to think of social media is a huge business now that wasn't as big as it was. But I think what one of the key things is for everyone is being able to adapt with times and change. Yeah, and looking at this as a situation. What do I need to do to either keep up with it or educate myself on it? I'm always educating myself in food and other things. But then if we were talking earlier about, like, you have to learn to delegate as well. Yes. And, you know, it's better to do that and get great results than try and wing it on my own, balancing a phone against an egg cup or something like that.
Yeah, hoping it's gonna stay there whilst I'm flipping my pancake or whatever.
Talking about more so balancing it, like with the book. How does a cookbook come? Like, what do you like? Just say, okay, these are the meals I want. Let's photograph it. Let's like.
How does it work?
Yeah, how's a cooking book?
Yeah, easy.
It's super easy.
How'd it work? I always wanted to do a cookbook, and I think this is one thing I've always done is
it's like the present that everybody gets everybody at Christmas.
A
candle or a cookbook. It's like
it.
It's one and one.
It was like something I'd always wanted to do from being like so small. Have a cookbook out. That was like a dream, a goal. I write this down, whatever. And I've been offered book deals over the years, and they were never quite right. And this has always been something with anything I do. I've got my values, and if it doesn't align with them, I'm not going to do it. So I turned things down that weren't right. Then the right opportunity came up.
Why sort of weren't they right a little bit? If you don't mind getting a little bit deeper into that.
It was maybe just a publisher that they weren't working with books that I aspired to have, or it was more like they might think they can get a quick turnaround on it, but is it right for me? And is my idea right at that time? Because it would have been easy to go, I've been offered a nice book deal here, but I don't know if I've got the strong enough concept. It's my first book. I can only ever do one first book. The timing for me had to be right. And this idea at the time was incredibly relevant, coming off the back of COVID. And then it was like, right, this is the right time. I like the team. Now I'm going to do it. And there was no rush. But in terms of getting the book, it's like, oh my God, I got this book deal. Then they're like, right, we need 300 recipe ideas by whenever, then we'll whittle it down to 100, and then I'm like, oh, here we go. Now the fun begins.
And I presume you just stick your head in the kitchen like, let's go and start just crossing them out. Or...
I mean, I presume you've got loads in your head already straight away. And
I know, but you've got lots of dance ideas in your head. If somebody goes, I want 100 in one day, I go,
I was going to say, when you get to 50,
I can give you 5 right now, but you have to come back to me in a week.
Yeah, I think how old was it? Maybe 30 when I had the book. I had all of these years of recipes, and some of them I'm like, this is definitely going in book number 1. Whatever happens, it has to go in, because there's stories with each recipe kind of thing, a lot of them from childhood or events that have happened. But I think one thing that helped me with that is I spent 4 years working with Marks and Spencer's, predominantly traveling around the country, meeting
the face of fresh food, I believe.
Something like that. That was one of the greatest things. But what I did learn a lot about is, what do people at home actually eat? Because any project I do,
what's the grab and go?
What are people eating? I was developing recipes week after week after week for consumers, and you can look at data. What are people picking up? What are not? So I had a really good understanding of what do people, not just in London but around the country.
Sorry to jump in, but that data, was that a lot different than what you thought? Did you think, okay, this is what people eat, but then you realised actually no, they don't even touch this? Or is it like, I don't know, me, chicken, broccoli, rice, boom, I'm like, sorted.
I don't know, you just sort of...
Egg on toast.
Everything he's just said there is all he eats.
That's me.
Chicken,
done.
Broccoli, rice, egg on toast.
As long as you season it properly. That's my big bugbear. People not seasoning
properly.
Oh, no,
I love
I'll do a beautiful chicken, broccoli and rice. Just get plenty of seasoning on there. But you don't know, you just start to get a feel for, like, this is the sort of thing people are picking up and cooking at home. When we did the Fresh Market Update campaign around the country, which recipes are performing well, and then it just, like, over time it accumulates. You get a good feel for what people want, and that really helped me with that. And then it was like, right, here's a ton of recipes. And then the team were amazing at Ebury, help you whittle it down into, like, how are we going to divide the book into chapters was the big thing, and then we can look at what's going to go into each chapter.
So what's the book called?
Easy.
Yes, that's what we like. And what is one of the easiest recipes in it? That's
the easiest recipe in it. There's a honey and harissa spatchcock chicken.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Which is a chicken, if you want to spatchcock it. Turn it over, get some scissors, cut the backbone out, basically lie it down flat. Put it in the pan, mix honey and harissa together with oil. Rub it over the chicken. You can do it straight away. If you leave it to marinate, it'll be nicer. Stick it in the oven.
How long marinate around about?
You could go 2 hours up to overnight. Stick it in the oven. And when it's spatchcocked, it cooks super quick, so you can cook a whole chicken in less than an hour. And then you get this sticky, spicy, sweet roast chicken. And you can put potatoes in the tray as well, so you got your...
Like, I'm just laughing because I'm just smiling so much.
It's such a funny cooking in all the juices of the chicken and everything.
It does.
And
you got it's like this kind of spicy, sweet, spicy chicken and chips. Who don't want that? That's probably one of the easiest. But then some of them...
And that sounds incredible. Like, sounds incredible. Like, if you just told me that you're going to cook a spatchcock chicken, whatever you just said, I'd be like, how do I do this? This is like brain surgery for me.
I think one thing, the whole easy concept is the accessibility that I try and bring to food.
Yeah.
The way we write things, the way we digest information. If I'd written, you need to julienne some carrots and then saute them. That's when you start going. But if you just cut the carrots into matchsticks, put them in some oil, not too hot, cook them till they're sort of,
You've spoke on the normal person language, which works.
I've not used one chefy word in there.
Yeah.
Because whether you're a Michelin star chef or a complete novice, you will still understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I think that's one big thing with all of the recipes in there. How do I make this accessible and easy to people that...
your target audience.
Yeah. And whether you're a great cook, you'll still enjoy the food, or whether you're just getting into it, you're going to enjoy it and be able to do it.
Yeah.
So
what did you learn from doing that first book? What did you like, okay, I want to improve this on the second book, or maybe the business side of it, the deal wasn't so good. Like
what did I learn personally? I mean, I'm going to sound so cliche and some philosopher, but I realized you should be enjoying the journey. I remember the day the book came out, I went to Waterstones in Piccadilly, you sign a few books, I go and I think, God, this is it. And then when I came out, that's the moment where I go, is that it? And then I look back and go, God, the last 18 months have been so amazing. Thinking of a name, book cover designs, talking about the recipes, on the photo shoot with the photographers and the music pumping and having a laugh. I'm going, that process of making the book far surpassed it coming out.
Yeah.
And that was like a big personal moment. Yeah. But what else would I've learned from it? That there's no rush and being patient, because I'm so proud of that. And there was other books I'd thought of doing that I might have done. And it's just one of these, like, stick to your values, know where you want to go, and wait for the right opportunities.
No, I think it's important that you say that, because people within our life now, due to social media, due to everything else, it's a throwaway market on one side. It's just gone. Yeah. And the other side is like, I need it yesterday. Like, I don't want to enjoy the journey. And I personally find, as much as if somebody who enjoys the journey will travel further because they enjoy making it, they enjoy like adapting and perfecting it. Yeah, and I feel like when it comes down to like the books and things like that, if somebody's enjoyed the recipes that you've done in your first book, they will buy the second book because they know that they're going to understand it. They create that relationship. How does it feel for you when you know you're creating this kind of trust with the people on social media, but also like they're cooking your recipes? It must be a weird feeling.
I mean, that was always one of the dream things for me. People to be using, it still gets me now. People have my book on their shelf at home and they will pick it up and make dinner at home. And I'm like, it might not sound much to a lot of people, but for me, it was like such a thing and something that I wanted to do. It still blows my mind. Every day you get pictures from people. We made this.
Do you have a little hashtag for each dish name? You should do, so then they can always hashtag that, so you know whenever they've cooked yours.
So there's a hashtag Baber Flavor. There's
Baber
like
Flavor,
6,000 pictures over the years of people cooking the recipes.
I'm gonna do a Baber Flavor.
Yeah,
tonight.
we need to do one.
Baber Flavor. We've got a book for you both, so you know.
Do you have an ebook? Like
we did one to help launch it and talk about it. So there's like.
It feels good to hold a cooking book though. I like
it. Does I agree?
I like to have it and feel it.
So in the front you'll read it. It's like, I want that book to be one that's covered in sauce, folds in the pages, and notes like, our oven's a bit shit, needs to be at 200, not 180.
37 minutes instead of 30.
And I've got books at my mum and dad's house, and that is the book I want it to be, one that you actually use for your dinner, not just
I'm
one
laughing
that sits on the shelf.
Because you know when you read the back of a piece of chicken or rice, and it says cook for this long, you cook it for that long at the exact temperature it says, you're like,
it comes out black.
It's lying to me, or like it's fine, like, because everybody's cooking it must be different. I'm just gonna throw it out there because the times are not the times sometimes.
And the pans that you use, everybody just needs
Hexclad. Great success.
Let's talk about Hexclad. Let's talk about it. Like, talk about the story. Like,
how did it come about?
What are you, an ambassador for them?
Yeah, I'm an ambassador for Hexclad.
And it's fundamentally.
Let's get one out.
It's a pan.
Yeah. Have we got one?
Where are
they? They're in here. If you can
get it out.
Yeah, we got one.
This probably looks a bit suspicious.
There
we go. That's
reaching down.
That's your Hexclad pan. So, one big goal for me when I came to London was to be the face of a supermarket. I've done that, and another thing I really wanted to do was be an ambassador for a cookware brand. We got to cook every day.
Okay, I'm intrigued. I'm feeling
I'm
this
very
pan.
intrigued. The fact that I've just felt that pan,
Yeah.
it's rough. So I'm going to explain it to people like, I'm viewing it now. You can view it on YouTube,
Yeah, but
obviously.
each little hexagon, you can actually feel it.
There's
So-
thousands of hexagons all over it. It's
Yeah.
a nice rough material, so it just wouldn't feel like a normal pan would.
So the word rough might be a bit rough of a word to use.
well,
Yeah,
we'll-
I would
we'll-
say
we'll-
s-
yeah,
I
we'll
would say
change
smooth
that then, we'll-
with a pattern curve.
So
Yes,
the
yeah.
hexagon is a slightly raised hexagon stainless steel.
Better
And
said
what
than I
that
said.
does is
yeah.
gives you the sear of stainless steel. So when you saw that steak the other day,
Yeah.
in a lot of restaurants they use a stainless steel pan and
Yeah.
it sears.
That's
but
what I
things,
use.
But things can stick to them.
Oh, it does.
And it's hard to wash up.
It
With
is.
this, the black surface is a derivative of Teflon, completely non-toxic. It will not come off. You can use a metal utensil.
Yeah.
So you get that sear. But once I was done with that steak, rinse it under the tap and it is clean.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Oh,
I've
is
been
that-
using
yeah.
this for 2 years.
that's 2 years.
Yeah, this was the first one I
That
got.
looks like yesterday.
Yeah.
And does it make a massive difference on your cooking, the pan that you actually use? Like, is in the actual food itself?
Yeah, what is a
Unbe-
chef's secret?
Unbelievable, because you spend... I went to the butcher's and got them steaks. They were about 15 quid each. Put them in a useless pan. You don't get the sear.
Yeah.
You haven't got the most out of it. And for me, with food, it all starts with good ingredients. And if you're going to buy good ingredients and you don't cook them properly,
Yeah.
if you bought a steak and it looked like it had been boiled, why bother? Or if you buy something simple like asparagus and you haven't got the right pan to cook it properly
Yeah.
and get that nutty char on it, you might as well not get good ingredients.
Yeah.
So it's also comes with a lifetime warranty. It goes in the oven, so you could put your spatchcock chicken
Yeah.
in there. The handles, when you've got them on the hob, stay cool. And it seasons over time, so they actually get better. The more
Good
you,
ambassador,
yeah,
isn't he? I'll give him that.
the more you use them, the better
and
they
the
get.
discount code
Yeah.
is.
And like I said, I mean, I'm genuinely passionate about that. And going back to like
I love
values
that.
and stuff, I'll only work with people that I'm genuinely passionate about. I don't work with many brands, but when I work one, I build a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
And the great thing is, these guys are based out of LA. I'm starting to bring my network in food and tell everyone about this.
Yeah.
And the great thing is, because it's so good, everyone you talk about it wants to hear more, wants to use it, and it ends up getting used
Well,
everywhere.
it's something that like every single person cooking has that.
Yeah.
It's I've got to clean it afterwards. Yeah. Or it's all the pan's died.
They
on
can
me,
go in
like,
the dishwasher as well.
Oh,
See?
perfect.
No.
So,
But
that is a selling feature, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. But asking how it started, I'd seen them. I'd seen Gordon Ramsay using them,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
the hexagon with social media is so Instagrammable.
Stands
It's
out.
visual.
I'm
yeah.
thinking, what is this? Why is he using it? Oh, I'm seeing some good reviews. So I've just messaged whoever was on the back end of the Instagram.
Yep.
These look amazing. Like, we'll send you a set. I went, just send me one. Like, I'm not after free stuff in this
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
I'll buy them. They went, no. So I'm using it for a few months with no intention of doing anything other than going, this is amazing.
This is really-
And everyone's DMing me, are these good? I've seen them. I went, yeah, they're really good. So we start having a conversation, and a couple of months later, I meet the CEO and co-founder, Danny, who's the most amazing guy, like business-wise, but he's an
Yep.
absolute gent. We met over a couple of drinks in town, and we hit it off, and we just started from there. And then it's just evolved into me becoming this ambassador in the UK, and I just love it. It's fun, and they're great people. And
So when's your own personalised pan coming out?
Yeah. When's
That's
the
what
Baba?
we need to bring out
don't
now.
need one. This is good enough.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, with your face on it or
Yeah.
something.
But it's also allowed me to travel. We do
Yeah.
some really cool events.
Yep.
Like starting to go globally now, but especially, working with other restaurants and pop-ups, and you get to go and meet people. It's
So
fun.
you using your Instagram to message them literally just for a single pan has literally created a whole business now
Yeah,
with them.
and I think
you've
that's-
exploded with them, really.
Yeah, one of the powers of social media is if you're passionate about something. And for me, I used it for like 3-4 months before even considering
Yeah.
a conversation because, you don't want to put your name to something you're not happy
No,
with.
100%. Like plus on social media, you can see when it's fake. You can
Yeah.
see when it's forced, but when it's actually true passion,
Yeah.
the way you talk about it, then it's like, well, it makes sense. Like it's what I
Yeah.
want other people to
Yeah.
do. I want people to cook, enjoy the process, and not have like. If you can remove the bad side of the process, which is usually the cleaning up, or you haven't
Yeah.
done the cooking properly, like
But
It's cool.
ultimately, you got to cook at home. This pan gives amazing results, and I'm not going hashtag hexclad. It's like I'm just using it.
yeah.
And that's the sign of a great ambassador, no matter who it is. If they're just using the product, people want to be using this.
I do. I love how you do talk about your
Yeah.
food, your pans, your everything you do. You're so passionate about it, and I think that's why you've got a smile on your face talking about it all. You genuinely love what you do, and that just from talking to you and talking to loads of people on the other podcasts that we've done, everyone that is being successful in their industry truly loves what they're doing, and it is a massive key thing to it. It really is.
I do. I love it, and I guess I'm in a really lucky position. I love what I do so much. Sometimes I find it hard to enjoy the time off.
Yeah.
And
we spoke about it earlier, didn't we? We're here in your kitchen, but also your living room. It's your house. It's where you eat, sleep, you work, you cook
and
here
repeat.
when you're filming it, but you also cook here when you need to eat because you need breakfast and lunch and dinner. And I think me and Curtis have very different polar opposite things here. I think you're maybe more towards Curtis. Like I like being in that environment, but I find it hard to switch off when my living room is my workspace. But Curtis likes to get out of his house and come to mine to work.
I can't work in my home. My home is relaxation.
Yeah.
I find that very, very hard to mix and match. I actually find that hard.
Yeah, finding the divide, and I think probably now
it must be even harder for you because food it's a necessity, as you said.
I have to do it.
Yeah.
And then I guess even when you're out eating with friends, everyone's, what do you think of this? I'm fine. I'm just out.
You must hate
time.
that, surely.
Yeah. I mean, I don't hate it because it's nice to chat about food.
Chris, has this been seasoned right?
Yeah.
Have you ever
Chris,
had,
is this actually medium
complaining
rare
in a restaurant? Do you end up doing it sometimes? Because obviously when you know how it should be done, and to the naked eye, people just don't know.
Especially in London,
so we just accept it.
Paying top dollar as well.
And you don't want to sometimes. I know it's horrible, but
I feel like value for money's what. Are we getting good value for what we're paying for it? It could be something that's £5. It could be something that's 500.
Yeah.
Does that demonstrate good value for money and
for what they're purchasing?
One thing I am never is rude, just in general. Because some people just have that in that when it's more of a bugbear when you're in a restaurant and you see someone being rude to staff.
Yeah.
Like, come on, like. I really don't like that.
So would you look at it as more as, there's perhaps been a mistake here, maybe just warn the chef to let him know that, look, this wasn't 100% right?
Yeah, I love the hospitality business and I want it to thrive. So if there's anything, hey, I'm not the greatest chef in the world, but if something comes out that isn't quite right, it's nice to just go, by the way, like, because for everyone else, and I want you to do well, you know? Like, I'm not one of these that goes, hey, everyone. Anyone else seen this? It's like maybe you can just with anything. Like, have you thought about doing that? Or hang on, this isn't quite cooked, and then it just means the next customers are going to be happy. It obviously look at what happened to hospitality during COVID. It's such a fragile business in that time. It should be thriving. So, but no, I'm not one for complaining. I'm really easy going. But if it's absolutely shocking, I might have something to say about it. But I'm never going to kick off. Like, that's not me.
He's like, I'm never coming back here again.
I might just not go back as well. But I'm not one for complaining.
Nah, that's good. You seem like a very genuine and polite person, which is that's why it's good to talk to you as well.
Okay, so you're always cooking. You're always using different. Like we've got the Hexaclad pan in front of here. Like, is there a piece of equipment that you're like, actually, this is missing, or like I would like to.
Well, I'm not gonna tell a million people because that might be the business venture. But I'm always thinking because there's always something. Yeah, and you know.
You literally are like saying you have a washing rail that like comes down from his roof. He's like, you know what? I could actually hang all my pants on there. That'll be perfect.
That might be a thing. But no, there's got to be something. But I think timing's key.
So I always think it's quirky when you see different companies come up with different things. You're like, actually, well, how's nobody invented that beforehand? Or like,
I know.
Like, oh, come on. Like, you're like, actually, that's genius. It's really annoying.
Yeah, something so simple. But
but then you can look at this and go, why did no one do that before? It's going to change the way people cook around the world. Yeah. But then I think timing's a big thing. So think about like the air fry, for instance. It's been there, but the cost of living crisis has blown them up. And then everyone's jumping on and it's created. I mean, I can't imagine how much money the air fryer companies are making. But I think the timing of it, sometimes you can have the best product, but if it's not the right time,
it won't work.
It won't sell. So think about trends in food. Everyone wants low carbs. The spiralizer goes ballistic because everyone wants to make pasta out of courgettes for whatever silly reason.
I do like a bit of courgette.
I've done a lot of different
sometimes.
diets, and a lot of them are like, cut out carbs, this and that, and I've learned, never cut out carbs. You need them just to survive.
Well, it's
you need some energy.
Hey, the primary source of energy for the body. I do not. I don't like a low carb diet.
Yeah.
I'm not happy.
Amen. Well said. Yeah.
Pasta and just everything in moderation, right?
So what is your favorite cuisine?
Oh, favorite cuisine.
So I know you mentioned Indian, obviously.
Yeah, that one amazing. And like Indian food is, from what I've learned, it's such a big place, and I can't be quoted to be out there to say it's not Indian food. It's foods of India. It's massive.
Yeah,
you know, some of it's on the border of Nepal. They're using chopsticks, things like
momos, thousands of spices.
Yeah, dumplings, and then the south, the north. It's different fats. Some are using coconut, some are using cream and dairy. So it's fascinating. There's so much to explore, but I think the joy of cooking at home is, what's your favorite cuisine? You can decide what your favorite cuisine is that day and make it.
Yeah.
Rather than working in Italian food, that's all I'm going to make. You know what it's like when you go on holiday and you go, oh my God, this Greek salad the first night. By night 10, you're like, another Greek salad? Are you kidding me? I think variety is the spice of life, and that's the joy of being at home. I don't think I've got a favorite cuisine. I love to,
desserts or mains then?
Oh, mains.
Always mains, yeah.
I reckon so. But I never used to really have much of a sweet tooth, but it seems to be kicking in.
What would be like you go to? Because I'm something like a jam roly poly and custard person. Some of the warms of heart reminds me of me nan. Yeah, things like that.
I love that. I mean, chalk ice.
Chalk ice.
I know. You know what? There was simplicity of a chalk ice
with the paper.
With the paper, it used to rip, and sometimes it'd get wet and soggy,
or like an Arctic roll. These are like my granddad saying, but no, like proper. I love a chalk ice. Any on chalk ice? Like proper desserts for me, like crumble custard, sticky toffee pudding. I love all of that.
Rhubarb or apple?
Apple.
Okay.
Or apple and rhubarb.
Oh,
I love that. Cool. But one dessert I love is a tiramisu. Like, that's a massive.
As I've got older, it's grown on me. Horrible when I was younger. Would never go near one.
The flavour of the coffee. And
but now that I love my coffee, it's a go-to one.
That's a good dessert. That.
Yeah.
It's really interesting because you've mentioned desserts there that you'd like go buy in a box, and I'm thinking to myself like ready meals.
Yeah,
like ready meals in themselves, like surely are not the best.
I'm a sucker for a ready meal every now and again. I am a sucker for one.
Do you actually?
Every now and again, I'll sometimes.
Do you have ready meals?
Well, if
it blows my brain.
Yeah, sometimes I'll just grab one and throw it in the microwave.
Sure, it's quicker to just cook some chicken and rice and.
The key is leave to stand for 2 minutes after cooking. Makes all the difference.
It does.
Piers
10 times the flavour.
Several times.
This is what my question is. I feel like Chris is probably not going to go with this.
Remove sleeve.
Stir at 1 minute 30. Yeah.
Kurt knows it.
Ensure piping hot.
Yeah. So like you've kind of I've lost train of thought. It's like no. What I was gonna say is you work with brands that define you. Like you're proud of. You like you want to represent. You want to help other people. Like within your cookbook. Let's say if somebody came along and was like, you know what, we could turn some of them into sort of ready meals or that sort of option. It's with your face on and little smile there. Is that something you would do or look into?
One thing I have done and looked into and actually achieved and delivered an amazing product with is a company called Fresh Fitness Food, and it is fresh meals that are made by chefs during the night, totally tailored to your nutrition. So they were my recipes. You two go onto the app, you put in your health, your fitness goals, your height, your weight, your activity levels. You both order the menu. It could be the same one for the week. Let's just say it's teriyaki chicken. They will weigh out, they'll cook it fresh, then they will put in the exact amount that you need of chicken, carb and the veg. And for you, and it's fresh, it's healthy, and that is literally delivered to your door like the milkman used to, on your doorstep in the morning, and it's in your fridge. And that's something I've been working with that business on, and that's been a success. And I guess we all have days where we don't want to cook.
I can imagine that that's grown really well, like especially for busy people.
Busy people that love food. They're conscious of the health.
But you've cooked in, I suppose you've cooked that, like you've got them meals there. They're all done properly and cooked properly and healthy and nice.
That is literally my recipe. Just taken onto their platform and portion controlled into what you want. It's not full of preservatives because it's made the day before. It's dropped on your door. It's just like warming up, or you can have it cold. the dinner that you had the night before, kind of thing.
That's the difference, isn't it, between like a standard one that you're buying from a supermarket, like a ready meal, which has got all the preservatives
What's
in
the
and
shelf
everything.
life on it?
Yeah, it isn't anywhere near as healthy as like a freshly made one.
But again, if you have one from time to time,
Yeah.
it's not the end of the world.
No, no.
What I'm here to do is say, you can cook stuff from scratch. It can be relatively simple. I could make a bowl of pasta in 8 minutes with fresh tomatoes, garlic, whatever. Or if you wanted one, you have it. But I'm not going to judge for what you eat. Do you know what I mean? But not for me.
Because I love your element is bringing fun back into the kitchen, really. Isn't
that's it.
The love of actually cooking, and like you said, through everything, enjoy the process.
Nah, it is.
I think this is the thing. Enjoy the process to create that end product of what you're gonna get, and take a bit of appreciation in the food.
100%. And for me, it's like get some music on, and that comes back to my granddad's kitchen in Sunderland, tiny, no ventilation, like big chip pan, all that stuff going on. Smoke or steam or something in there, but the tunes would be on, it'd be singing out, enjoying it, and I'm like, that's what it's all about. You can have a bit of fun, and the more you enjoy being in the kitchen, the more you're going to do it. The more you do it, the better you get. And then
if you're old enough, cheeky glass of wine whilst cooking,
it's what it's all about, isn't it?
So we spoke about like a little bit on investment, and like you've spoken about yourself, like you want to invest in yourself, like your brand, like maybe creating more content, more regular cooking videos on YouTube, whatever that may be. But surely, like you and your kind of, it sounds weird, your chef friends, like, I presume you do have like lots of chef friends in London. Yeah. Do you get together and like discuss with each other, like these opportunities come up, or oh, there's a new restaurant opening here, or we're gonna go try it out? Like how do you kind of, how does that network?
Like
you must have your own little world there. Like it's quite a close world when you're in central London, that's for sure.
I think there's a lot of everyone, it's like any industry, you get to know each other. Yeah. Whether you're all best mates or not, it's another story, but it seems very supportive. But I think I'm friends with people from all walks of life, and that's what I've always enjoyed, being friends with people from different industries, different backgrounds, and then you get a broader perspective on life, opportunities, and just a different viewpoint. So it's not like I only mix with that group. A lot of my closest friends are in other industries doing really well at what they do. And I think
spice of life, like you said.
It is, right? It's a spice of life. Second book. Oh no, the second one's going to be easier, I think. Then easiest.
Please do that. That's actually awesome.
But damn it, I brought the wrong book again. The other easy one.
Damn, take that one back.
I don't really know loads about chef, and I did my little bits in the kitchen, but
Wait, you were still hired as a pot washer, Kurt? There's no.
Hey, you've been in
right. I was a pot washer. I was just very fast.
I did more kitchen work than you.
No, you didn't.
I cooked them steaks in Sophie's Steakhouse for 100 people at lunchtime. I did 100 covers. Is that
I
my
did
correct
good steakhouse.
I did 2
I know,
years
I was
in
very
the
proud
kitchen.
of it. The chips were quite stressful.
2 years in the kitchen doing sweets. Well, 3 months of it was on pot wash, and then I was faster than moving up to sweets and starters.
I think Kurt just ate the sweets.
No, what the heck? What are you trying to portray?
I remember I went for
I
dinner
did
once
sweets,
at the
don't get me wrong.
restaurant. I went for dinner once at the restaurant, and Kurt put that much sauce on a dish that I got home and threw up.
No, if people came in that I knew, I would always put extra dessert or extra food on for them, you know. I think
I bet they loved you for doing that.
No.
Profit. Boom.
Yeah, literally. It was only a local pub across the road.
They're the worst.
And now they're out.
They was.
They're now bought out by a chain.
I thought, why was it closed down last time? We went
your
past
friends
it.
and family were around the corner like this.
Boarded up, taking it home, we were. But one of the things that I did obviously know about different places, and sometimes if I wanted to treat somebody, you know, on a special occasion, I'd take them to, it's called a Michelin star, Michelin star, isn't it?
Wait, is it a Michelin Man?
Yeah, that's where it all comes from.
The Michelin Man, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. That's what
I never knew that.
That's a piece of content the three of us can do together with the cars and all that.
Yeah.
Well, we actually should.
Sorry, Pirelli.
Out. I didn't quite realise that actually, but do you aspire to have a Michelin star?
It's not something I've aspired to at this stage. Yeah. And it's also, I don't work in the Michelin star kitchen now. I did for a period of time, but I never say I have trained for 20 years in a Michelin star kitchen. I've never pretended I have done. So I'm very much in my own
different
lane.
paths, is it?
Yeah, it's different. I've taken a different path. So
fair dues,
I've got opinions on Michelin, and I eat in some amazing Michelin star restaurants, but I don't make my decisions on going out if it's got a Michelin star. I just want great food and a great night.
Yeah.
Talking about that, great food, great night. What would you say is kind of maybe a restaurant in London that's that's kind of a bit hidden, but like not crazy expensive, but like
I got a real good question. Actually.
what would you recommend that's like good food?
Easy. Delamina. Have you been?
No.
So I remember I first came to London.
Where are we?
It started in Shoreditch, and they now have one in Marylebone.
Okay.
And Limor and Amir, married couple from Israel.
The story sounds good already.
Yeah, the most amazing
Delamira, it's
people.
called,
Delamina Kitchen. Everyone looked this one up. One of my favourite places to eat. Talk about that home environment. It feels like that. But I remember, if anyone wants to YouTube me and Tom Daly, there's a video of me cooking in a pair of Speedos, which was, it was a bit of fun, you know. And it performed really well. But obviously his platform was massive.
Yeah,
and it was, I did it for a bit of fun when I first come down to London. And then we did actually start doing a bit of a cooking thing together. And I did my first demo at an event. Like,
Did you have your aprons on? Sorry, I'm just visualising.
we put clothes on. It was just me coming in like, come on, Tom Daly. I thought we were diving. Like, really, the comedian I am. But either way, there was a video.
The producer went like, you know what we could do? This is a good idea.
Yeah, a good idea at the time. But it turned out to be a good idea. He's a great friend, and I wouldn't have met the Delamina bit without it. So I'm at this festival doing my first live cooking demonstration. I went to this pop-up. It was Strut and Cluck, it was called, before Delamina. I meet the owner. She's, oh my God, I saw you did something with Tom, and he's great. He comes to our restaurant. We'd love you to come down. So I'm like, oh God, I didn't know anyone in London. I've gone to this restaurant, and the most incredible food, flavoursome, delicious, fun atmosphere, sharing style.
Now I've got to try it.
It's insane. And they became great friends of mine, and I'll always go back to that restaurant. It's not huge, but they've even got like, so Limor used to be an interior designer, and inside it's like you're not even in London anymore. It's sensational.
Oh, it's lovely, that.
So that for me is like, it's not hidden, because I think it was #1 in brunch in the world on TripAdvisor.
Yeah.
It's well known, I guess, more within the food space.
Yeah.
But once you go, you'll want to keep going back. And it's not huge. It's not a chain. It's just delicious.
Tattoo's a great little restaurant, to be fair. If you've not been there, that's a fantastic one. Nice place to go. Just like throwing it out there.
The Pan-Asian place.
Yes.
Yeah.
For me, the food was fantastic. I really, really enjoyed
I'll tell you a story about a good night I had in there.
I
had a great night. There was a party in there.
They brought the Speedos out and everything.
No.
It got red now.
No, that's a great restaurant. I've only been once.
I've only been once as well, to be fair. Yeah.
Great restaurant. There's so many though in London. Like, God, I mean, there's some iconic restaurants. There's new places popping up, and I think the nice thing is, I'll support friends, restaurants, stuff. You can keep trying somewhere new.
Oh, there's especially in London. There's
crazy.
So many different places to go. Like you said, like half the ones you said I've never even heard of.
Yeah,
and they're on my bucket list to go to now. I've got to ask you, if you're going to go on a date though, not going out to eat. Yeah, you're going to cook for this. It's a new lady of your life, or new man of your life, or whoever it is. Yeah. What is a good dish to go for?
What's it going to be?
Let's go for a little 3-course meal. We're going to have a starter, a main, and a dessert.
Kurt's right. There's no.
I'm asking this for a reason. Yeah.
Really simple stuff, because I think that can be the most impressive. Have you seen the film Chef?
No, but I will be watching it later.
You need to watch it. There's a scene in there.
Anything like Ratatouille?
It's up there with it. Yeah. It's amazing. If anyone's seen it, the film where he's cooking for who is Scarlett Johansson's character, and he cooks this spaghetti with garlic and parsley. Ali, how do you pronounce it in Italian?
Ali. Oh, what, the alioli? I know. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. That like garlic butter type thing. Aioli.
No. Hang on, we might need to jump back on here. Can we just Google?
Google
spaghetti
it.
Allegrio, something like that.
Spaghetti. But I know what you mean.
I can't pronounce it.
Not alioli is in the sauce.
No.
Yeah, we'll go back.
It's a whole new pasta.
No, it's literally oil, garlic, parsley, and that's it, and pasta water. And he cooks this dish for Scarlett Johansson, pretty much like seduces. He's got this cool music on, and just in his kitchen, I'm like, it's a few ingredients.
You just spell it in there. Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
Here we go. Yeah.
What Kurt's for you?
Ugly aioli.
Actually, to be fair, are there a lot of names and stuff which you can't like in the chefing world, the food industry that you just?
I'm awful with names anyway.
I'm bad. I don't speak any other languages.
That's the problem. Yeah.
I barely speak English.
For example, because if
very British,
if it's a foreign dish and stuff, it's foreign names, and I I can speak English, and that's it.
Yeah.
I can say bonjour, je m'appelle Curtis in French. That's about it. But I wouldn't be able to say any other names of these dishes or foods.
We.
Yeah, we
know.
That's when you got the take one. It's just numbers.
Yeah.
Right. Let's go back to what would I cook for a date?
Yeah. Cheeky little 3-course.
I reckon dessert might go for the tiramisu.
Oh yeah. Pretty.
Because I think get that done the day before, let it sit in the fridge.
Yeah, he's not worrying about it.
Don't worry
Here's
about
one
it.
I prepared earlier.
It's done. It's there. It's good to go. Starters. It depends on what time of year it is. Right now.
Yeah, let's go right now.
There's a lot of thought
we are
process
right
now.
now.
Right now, you know, if you want to go really simple, probably get you some really nice tomatoes burrata, and then I know it's a bit bougie, but I was in the three of us have been to Monaco. We went to this restaurant and they were putting caviar on top of burrata, and it's very against my my northern roots. But my God, it was good.
Was it?
Because it sort of seasons.
Is that the one at
Yeah.
Rampoldi?
It was down. I can't pronounce the name of the restaurant.
Yeah.
I had too many martinis or something. But yeah, just stuff like that, simple, and maybe just like an amazing bowl of pasta.
Did that really work then with it on top? The caviar.
Like,
Seasoned it, just made it taste a little bit more.
Yeah, because there's no real saltiness to burrata. But I don't know, just like tomato burrata.
Yeah,
like
I love
simple stuff. But then I've got, just because I had tiramisu, I'm kind of going for this Italian theme. But I don't know, it's hard. Depends who it is. Hopefully they aren't vegan, because they're not coming around the house.
Yeah, they're not vegan. I'll state that. Yeah,
because I don't think I could date a vegan.
because obviously you would have to change everything you're cooking. Your
big
cooking
lifestyle
style.
The one
choice.
thing, I went vegan for 6 months because it was a time when I felt like I couldn't change anything other than what I was eating.
Yeah.
My sleep was as much sleep as I was physically able to get, and my training was what I was. I don't know if it was placebo or not. My body felt a bit cleaner, but when it got 6 months in, I was like, I need red meat. I need a steak. I need I need to get back on it.
It's also enjoyable eating this food, isn't it?
Yeah. The one thing that was, spices was different. It opened my eyes to more spices and there was more thought process in certain dishes. I will say that as a positive.
Hey, you can learn to cook. And for me, vegan food, right? Where do I go with it? I haven't got a problem with it.
Yeah.
Because I eat really nice vegetables.
Yeah.
But they've always been really nice vegetables. I didn't call it vegan. A lot of Indian cuisine has been for a long, long time.
Yeah.
But it's not labelled as vegan.
Corn tikka masala, I find better than chicken tikka masala, and that's nothing to do with vegan or not.
I wouldn't be on with that. But
you actually did eat when you did turn vegan. I feel like opened your eyes up to food.
More flavors. It made me think.
Yeah, because you had to. Yeah.
For me, I'd always turn to food that has always been vegan.
Yeah.
If you use pasta that doesn't have eggs in it, and you have olive oil, garlic, tomatoes, pasta, basil, one of the most simple but delicious bowls of pasta you're probably going to ever have. Why do we need to put
That's
vegan?
the date main then.
It
That's
could be.
We'll have,
And I might do barbecue scallops in the half shell with a chili garlic butter, bit of samphire or something on the top.
Bloody
Good
chef.
little scallop.
And then maybe that
Beautiful.
lovely nice bowl of tomato pasta, something light, and then I don't know, onto the main. Now we're talking about beef. Just cook it perfectly. Bit of rocket parmesan, whatever.
I'm actually hungry now.
Yeah, it could be anything. But then again, I love a good spaghetti bolognese. Don't go too much too soon. Come round, have a spag ball. Choc ice.
Yeah.
Get around,
Choc
darling.
ice,
Have a choc ice and a spag bowl. Let me treat you.
Never forget the choc ice.
Spag ball and a choc.
Okay,
So
just
ladies, that's what you're getting here.
The thing is, that'll appeal to so many people because that's what people actually like.
I know.
Like, we live in this food
I
bubble,
can't
but-
wait to see your version of choc ice.
I'd have a
Yeah.
cheesy garlic bread starter.
Oh,
a bit
the
of
baguette.
ketchup.
I want the baguette one.
Yes,
Garlic
the
baguette.
one.
Okay, we
Beautiful.
lost the plot now. Okay, just before we finish it off, live cooking.
Yeah.
You do a lot of live cooking. You go to these events. People sit down. They take their notes. They they want to get the first bite of the food afterwards. Do you enjoy that? It's like a weird rock star living, but cooking.
Man, I absolutely love it. Why? Because I don't need the laptop to edit things after.
Yeah.
Live. Someone else. No, I love it because it's the interaction with people. I'm a real people person. One quick note on social media is I can find it incredibly isolating. The time when I'm at home filming, especially on my own, I guess one of the other reasons I want a team is to have people around me.
Yeah.
I'm a proper people person. And just being at home making social media content don't do it for me. That's why I love to do events like I did in Monaco for guests. Cooking on stage is a big thing for me. We're in the middle of the season.
I always think it's cool when I see it.
It's so fun.
Chefing on stage.
Like the BBC Good Food Show coming up. Hexclad, headline cookware sponsor. The big kitchens are like 1,000 people. You walk out there to 1,000 people. I've never done what you guys have done on stage, but it's an amazing feeling.
It's a proper adrenaline. It's a buzz.
Yeah, to stand there, and I love it. Like, because
you come off on a real high. It's hard to
and whatever
come
you
back
do,
down
people are
from
happy
it.
because they're there to see. They're there to
This
whatever.
is one of the other things with live cooking. That's entertainment, because a lot of the people aren't eating the food. And it's, how do I go out and story tell?
Very much so,
whilst I'm cooking
Like,
something.
you fancy doing some dancing as well? We can give you some dance lessons.
I'd
And
love
have a little
to.
like spin round when you're doing your cooking
I'd
and stuff.
actually love to learn to dance. It's something. I've got one dance move called the Hexham 2-step that I'll show you after.
Okay.
But getting back to the live cooking, I love it. It's like standing up there, cooking away, and just having a bit of fun with it.
Yeah.
And actually, it's kind of entertainment, and it's fun because you get the gauge of some crowds that are really up for a laugh, and you might throw a bit of a joke in, and it's just fun. And then afterwards, the best bit is going and chatting to everyone.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could do that. I picked that up. Can I get your book? Or I've been following you.
And
for a
hopefully,
while.
not too many awkward questions like, "Oh no, sorry, I couldn't hear you on that one."
I've got to go. No, I
Mom?
just, I love the interaction with people, but it's a buzz going up there. I've just got back from one this week at Goodwood Racecourse, and then I've got a big one coming up in St Albans, and then NEC Arena. That's a massive part, and I'm in the Cotswolds next week. I love that.
Do you take your book with you? Like,
I take my book.
guys,
Here it is.
book here. Bye.
And you've got like a destination where you would love to go and cook.
Love to go and
where
cook.
you haven't cooked just yet.
Oh, I'd love to do something at South Beach Food and Wine Festival in Miami, because I went out there for fun.
Okay.
Last year, and I'm like, yeah, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it's
Cool
just like,
location as well.
yeah, unbelievable. So that would be nice. But in the UK, I'm really lucky. I've done a lot of the big festivals, and the other part of that I like is who else was there on the day. Bump into you guys at Carfest last year, and that's how we really met.
100%. I think that's one thing that's really nice. Like most people, like within our all different industries, like we all love what we do. We have to interact. We have to change stories. And then you find out different passions, like the cars. Like it's much more like, as long as you're open, like to talking to people, like you create these connections that you don't even know why it's going to be important until maybe a year down the line or 2 years. And I think that's what's really nice.
I've just thought of something really cool that we've got a collab on YouTube channel. We've got to do back of the car. We're gonna drive around a little track or something. You're gonna have to whip up a dessert whilst we're driving in the back of a car.
Sounds like it's gonna be whipped cream. That's
I'm thinking a real like chantilly cream, a messy dessert or something.
I'll try tiramisu.
Yeah.
As soon as we've been chatting about
whilst we're driving, I think that's a cracking
Come on,
idea.
TV shows. I think every racetrack, we race around the track, do it, and then we do the local dish for the.
Yes,
location.
that's even better. That's it. Yeah.
Then
We're gonna get something off the back of it.
I'm gonna get right in
because we met at Carfest. But I was doing a demo and you guys were doing your thing, and like other fun stuff come off the back of it. I got to know Danny, who also did Celebrity MasterChef from McFly.
Yeah.
Me and him were at a festival cooking on stage together the other week.
I saw that.
I thought this would happen. It's one of them where like I'm up there cooking with him. It's a right laugh. We both love food. We're stood there cooking. People are happy with it. Yeah, I love that. I prefer doing that than probably standing making a social media video.
Yeah. I actually talk about that because you cook that in the kitchen here, don't you? Where we're actually sat right now.
Yeah.
When you got this place, was it an adequate kitchen for you, or did you have to rip it out and restart?
I had to redo this.
Yeah.
First thing was kitchen.
Yeah.
It was a bit daunting. By my first place, I get introduced. The bloke that showed me the kitchen, I was like, I need this fitted straight away. I know a man called Gary.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know, it's great. Like all these stories of people getting ripped off by tradesmen and that. And at home, like loads of my mates are tradesmen. I trust them.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm like, all right, Gary. So
it's when they say, I've got a mate called Gary. That's it.
So this guy sold me a kitchen. Clearly, he wanted to introduce me to someone so he could sell a thing. I met Gary on the street outside the day I got the keys. And I'm like, I just put all the trust into Gary, it's all yours. And I came back that night and he'd gone home and this had nothing in it. It was a wreck. I thought he better be good. And he turned out I've become great mates with him. But
Gary's on it.
Gary is on it.
Is he good then, in case I need to get my kitchen
If anyone
done?
needs Gary's number for kitchen, give me a ring. He's a busy man now. You might be waiting a while. But that was part of like, buying a place.
Yeah.
Needed to find somewhere with a
Is
decent
this your
kitchen.
biggest investment, purchasing a place in London?
100%. Yeah. And a big achievement, I think, as well. Buying
it's your
a place
workspace though as well, isn't it? It's your home and workspace and everything.
Yeah.
Really.
But one thing I'm learning is I would like to try and find more divide between that.
Yeah.
work a bit harder, buy a house, I can build a kitchen out the back or something. But who knows?
We've got plans.
Yeah.
Keep moving that way.
Is that what would you try and actually do something like that then? Still have the kitchen in your home area, but maybe it's in the garden and it's a whole studio style kitchen.
Hey, that'd be the dream scenario.
Like that, yeah.
And it's just nice to have people over and be able to use it. But,
Yeah.
Like, who knows? I think that's a while off yet, but I'm pretty happy with this place for now.
I know.
It's awesome.
I look forward to seeing you just keep growing and doing more.
I can't wait to talk in a year's time and be like, okay, so you've ticked off this, and this. You're moving here.
Yeah.
Like, this is because I can see that so many things like travel again and. There's just always opportunities. But like I keep just thinking, bloody hell, everyone has to eat, don't they? Like, you're winning. Like, just
you're
right. on the journey.
I think there are always opportunities, and touching on like the social media thing, you can end up spending a lot of time alone at times.
Yeah.
And it's nice to actually talk about. I think a lot of people that you probably had on, maybe they have, maybe they haven't, don't take stock of what they've done. Just sit here and chat about it for a bit. It's great because you go, oh yeah.
It's usually like
actually all right.
What's
1st of January, you realise, oh my God, I've just done all that in the year. Like, that's a lot. You don't take stock in the year. You're like, okay, next. So it's honestly, thank you so much for chatting and taking your valuable time in your gorgeous kitchen here, Gary, on it.
I can't wait to see easiest and easiest books come out.
And
be on the
easy
way.
just spelt differently with it.
E for the Gen Zs with
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, I like that, to be fair. E for the Gen Zs as well, Easy,
Easy, E3Z.
E3Z.
That actually works very well, actually. You should bring a book out like that, actually. Very simple cooking.
Don't listen to us on that. Don't take that advice.
No, because I'll read it. That's all right. I'll take it. No, thank you so much for coming on, Chris. It's been great to talk through everything and just, like AJ said.
And if anybody, do a shout out for yourself, like where they can find you, obviously your book, pan.
One last thing quickly as well. Bit of advice for somebody that wants to get into cooking, that's never done it before.
There's a book called Easy.
Oh, yeah.
I like it.
Okay, and it's a great place to start. But I don't know, start with a simple recipe and go from there and just give it a go. I think for me, food's like anything, and I can relate it to fitness a lot because I've spent a lot of time training. It's one of them things where you start doing it, or the first few weeks in the gym, it can be a bit hard.
Yeah.
But the first time you see results, you look at yourself, you either lost weight, put muscle on, whatever, you go, oh, this is all right, and you start to feel good. The first time you make something and you go, oh, you guys liked it.
Tastes all right.
It wasn't really very hard to make. And I think it's like a bit of a click, so just keep going, persistence, crack on, just give it a go. It's just a bit of dinner.
Yeah, it's a great way of looking at it. It's just a bit of dinner.
It's just a bit of cooking.
Yeah. Keep cooking.
Yeah, keep cooking. Yeah, there you go.
Your new slogan.
That's the next book.
We've got so many ideas.
That's quite a good one for the book, actually.
I can see the back of the car that I'm cooking dessert in just says keep cooking on the number 4.
And then it's an absolute crap hole in the back of it. Cheese everywhere, cream everywhere, you name it. Coffee everywhere.
Yeah, one of them TV shows is going to happen. I'm not sure when.
The running one between locations is a great idea.
Yeah, I think,
we're on to something with that.
I actually think that'd be a cool one. Everyone loves a little travel program as well.
People could run with you and everything. Oh,
well, that's what I'm thinking. You could do a full thing for charity, raising money.
Like proper, you have your own little pod that moves from.
Yeah.
Or we cook everything on camping stoves, like because we're camping out, or do we have a pop-up kitchen following us? Who knows?
Now we're onto something
we
different.
are.
Yeah. 3 peaks, and you got to cook a nice 3-course dinner on every single peak.
We should do this.
Yeah, that's throwing it out there. Yeah. But promote yourself, get everything out there. What's your Instagram, your socials? Where can people find you? Find the book?
Yeah, I think main one is just Chris Baber on Instagram, and you'll find all the links to everything on there. That's the place.
Smiley face pops up every time.
Yeah, the cheesy grin. I need to work on a second smile, I think.
No, it's good. It's good.
Just stuck there like that. Yeah. Honestly, he hasn't had Botox, I promise. Yeah.
I think I need it. No,
no, don't.
He's going to get look in the mirror now and say, okay.
I'll be getting DMs from plastic surgeons.
Oh,
if I saw that you wanted.
You like them hex bands? What about this jab?
Yeah.
Just before you go anywhere, we just want to say thank you very much to listen to Freedom Impact Trust. We love your reviews, so please do leave them because it helps other people find us, doesn't it, Curtis?
Yes, it does. As AJ said, comment, like, subscribe, share it with a friend, share it with the entire world. Let everybody know that this is the podcast that you guys are listening to, and jot down some comments of any financial advice that you want or any questions. We'll be happy to answer all of them at the best of our knowledge. Thanks again for listening, guys. We hope you've enjoyed it, and we love you all.
Yeah, we just want to thank our sponsors, FINT, the financial investment app, where you can invest from as little as £50 a month. Yes, Curtis, £50 a month. So easy.
I like it. And don't forget that it's all within 3 portfolios. Simplicity. It's easy. Get investing, guys.
Have a great day.
See you later.